to another video. I wanted to start off by making this series about every single thing that you will need as a new equestrian.
Okay, so not too long ago, Rayleigh, and I'm probably saying that name wrong. I'm sorry, it's not on purpose. Anyway, not long ago, she came out with this video, which is basically about what her opinion is people will need coming into horses for the first time if they're beginners, if they're just starting a lesson program, or if they're leasing a horse. Now, I have almost 30 years in the industry, so I have a lot of experience with this. So I thought I would just give my opinion on whether I agreed with what her opinion is on what people might need in this situation, or if I don't. So let's get into it.
So number one, helmet. Please, please, please buy your own helmet. You need to have something that properly fits you, that is the quality of protection that you're looking for the specific activity that you're wanting to do in your lessons. A lot of lesson programs have really cheap and really crappy helmets that do not fit every single rider properly, and a lot of lesson programs do not replace helmets regularly because they're very expensive. So this is why I've always told all of my students and anybody who comes and asks, buy your own helmet. It's probably going to be one of the most expensive things that you buy for your child or for yourself when you start out taking horseback riding lessons, but trust me, it's worth it, and they hold their resale value as long as you don't take any falls in them. We don't want people paralyzed. We don't want children paralyzed. Make sure to wear the proper headgear.
I absolutely agree with this. This is good for any rider, regardless of their experience level, from the very top Grand Prix riders down to your very, very basic beginners. Everyone should be wearing a helmet and have their own helmet. Where I will disagree is on the price point. You don't necessarily have to buy the most expensive helmet. According to Virginia Tech and their helmet ratings, their number 5 and number 6 rated helmet are below $60. Number 6, the IRH Equalite, is the helmet I've been using for at least the last, I think since 2009. Is that like over 15 years now that I've used that helmet? I get a new helmet after every fall or after every few years because helmets do age. Also, if I drop one on the ground, I'm getting a new helmet, even if it wasn't like a fall, like off a horse. If I just like drop it, I'm getting a new helmet. I'm not taking that risk. I personally always suggest people get 2 helmets actually. That way, if you sustain a fall, you don't have to wait for a new helmet to get to you because usually you're ordering the helmet. You're not going to have to wait to ride again until you get that new helmet. You'll already have it. Another thing I disagree with her about this is them holding the resale value. Please don't resell a helmet and don't buy a used helmet. There's no guarantee that they're telling you the truth about that helmet, whether it's sustained a fall or not, or whether it was dropped or not, or how old the helmet is. And finally, also make sure you have the most up-to-date safety certification on your helmet. All helmets have to be certified for safety, and that's different between countries, so you need to check with your own country what their safety certification levels are in that country, but do check that out when you're buying a helmet.
Along the lines of safety, we're going to talk about riding vests. A riding vest is the only optional thing that I would put on this list, and
I agree with this. I think riding vests are an amazing idea, but in my opinion, it's an optional piece of equipment. Although it is a good idea.
Next is riding boots and socks. Whatever you want to do, whether it's Western riding or English riding, make sure to get yourself a really good pair of riding boots. And definitely get yourself some riding socks as well, but don't get the really thin ones because those get holes in them. They wear down really quickly. One thing I really wouldn't recommend is going out and buying a bunch of little tiny paddock boots if you are wanting your kid to get into English riding. The reason is because paddock boots tend to fall apart really quickly unless you get the really, really expensive one.
Honestly, for me, I just wear plain white socks. I don't get special socks. I've never personally had a problem just with my normal socks in a pair of tall boots or in a pair of paddock boots. I also don't know why she's on paddock boots. I have a pair of paddock boots that were not expensive. They're a nice pair of carrots that I think I got for like $100 or something. And they were brand new when I got them, and they're about 4 or 5 years old, and I can still wear them. They're really nice. You may want to get a pair of half chaps with them, but I don't generally use half chaps with mine all the time. I'll either use nothing or I'll use leg warmers because I'm a child of the 80s, so I will wear my paddock boots with leg warmers.
Next are are breeches or jeans and long sleeve athletic shirts. I think a lot of people go crazy when they buy riding apparel. There's a lot of really cheap quality riding apparel that's out there. I would stick with buying one really nice pair of jeans or breeches.
The one place I'm going to disagree with her here is I am of the opinion that you want more than one pair of breeches or jeans. You can get away with one pair of breeches or jeans, but ideally you want at least two or three. That way you're not washing them all the time, or if a pair rips or a pair gets damaged or whatever, you've got an extra pair to wear right away. You don't have to go and order another pair and then wait forever, however long that's going to take for it to arrive. So can you get away with one pair? Yes, you can. I would suggest at least two or three ideally.
Additionally, long sleeve athletic shirts. The shirts that you wear do not have to be for riding specifically. Whatever sort of compression athletic shirt, long sleeve that you like is what I would recommend.
Now, I wouldn't get hung up on the sleeve length of a shirt for riding unless you want sun protection. In that case, we get something called a sun shirt. And there are horse sun shirts, there are golf sun shirts, there's other sun shirts. They usually have air vents to help keep you cool in the summer. Rather than just like a black compression shirt. So they're specifically made for the task to keep you cool in warmer weather in the summer, for instance, while still offering you that long-sleeved sun protection. Saying that, there have been more times than not that I've just worn a plain t-shirt to the barn or to ride. Plain t-shirts served me well for almost 30 years, been absolutely fine. But I also have found in Florida the value of a sun shirt, so I wear those now sometimes too. As for compression, you want form fitting, but I don't know about compression. Don't get your shirts so tight that they're uncomfortable, is my suggestion anyway. But also equally, don't get them so loose that if you were to fall or something, that the shirt could get hung up on something, because that could be a safety hazard.
Next are riding gloves. Please, please, please get gloves.
I totally agree with this. Every rider, every equestrian should have a pair of riding gloves. I have several pairs. I haven't always used them regularly, but I've always had them, and it's always best to use them because they help prevent rope burns. Those are painful. So yeah, I agree. Go out and get yourself a pair of riding gloves if you're an equestrian.
Personal emergency medical kit. You should have your own little medical box, whether it's the little tiny ones from Johnson & Johnson that you can buy anywhere, even Walmart. Definitely get your own, because
Kudos for Ray Lee for bringing this up, because she's absolutely correct. Equestrians should always have their own medical kit. I keep one in my trunk. It's probably too old now, so I should probably get a new one, but I do have one. I didn't always used to do that. Luckily, I never needed one when I didn't carry one with me, but I should have carried one with me. It's a great idea. I'm so glad she brought this up.
that brings me to my very last must-have is a bag. You want to have some sort of bag. It doesn't have to be a riding specific bag, although those kind of are nice, but they're very expensive. You can pretty much get any sort of duffel bag. It makes your life a lot easier, and it makes it easier to keep track of all of your.
Now, I personally do not have like a gear bag. I have a grooming supply bag, but I pretty much just hang up my riding clothes with my regular clothes and fold them and put them in the regular clothes drawer and things like that. However, if you're taking things to and from the barn a lot, a gear bag can be absolutely wonderful. And I see no reason why this wouldn't be something that you should get if you think that it could benefit you. So overall, I think that this is a really good list that she made. It was well thought out, and she had a lot of great ideas and good points. And I think her list is going to help a lot of people out, especially if they're new to the equestrian world. I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think this is a good list that she made? Do you think anything could be added to it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below.